This is the response to the um self-doubt one. This one's gonna this one is the fourth. This will be the fourth video in like the playlist for this. And yeah, so you talked about like um how just like doubt from other people, it really doesn't matter because it's in the end it's all about yourself, and that receiving doubt from other people and letting that affect you is ultimately just caring about what other people think. But I think that part, it's for me it's like really hard to control. Like subconsciously it's like I'll always somewhat care about what others think. I feel like just deep down, like from like more so from like a close friend or something, or a family member, like um what someone says really will somewhat affect you, like just in some way, because I feel like just from like an perspective from like our ancestors, when we just like human, like the nature of human like social groups and stuff, like we we survive. We cannot, no human can truly like survive while being alone. We all like depend on each other somewhat. Like if you think about anything, you do depend on other humans in some way to survive. Like you cannot just be, so this goes back to like when we were back in like tribes and everything, just small communities. The people, if you weren't, if you're a human back then and you weren't like part of some social group, like not a social group, like a tribe, like actually depending on each other for survival, then you probably wouldn't survive long in the wild, because we all have like roles and like kind of a social hierarchy and stuff in these tribes that we have to depend on. So I think it kind of stems from back then, how like human nature, you kind of, it's like it's easy to say to stop caring about what others think, but for me it's like incredibly difficult, because kind of like obviously some comment would like affect you, like because it's a judgment from another human being. And like going back to like ancestor days, like these comments were used, to for like improvement and just helping, like if you were like told something bad back then, right, it would kind of feel really dangerous and scary, because like it would almost feel like you'd be kind of on the verge of like being um kicked out or like isolated from this tribe, and then that would mean that would be a threat to your survival. So yeah, that's like kind of the human like evolution, like nature of it. And I think this part like continues on to the modern day, where like I hear like a lot of stories of like, growing YouTubers, and they receive negative comments in the comment section. And even though they're from like nobodies, right? They're from literally, they don't know them, they're just strangers over the internet. And even when these YouTubers are told, yeah, when you grow big, you're gonna expect you're gonna have to expect a lot of negative comments. But even then, like seeing those negative comments really does like it kind of hits you personally for some reason because it just doesn't make sense why someone would be so negative. And it's almost like you've never experienced this type of negativity, this deep negativity in your life, because obviously no one in person would say, yeah, like this is like some really mean comment on you, like compared to someone on YouTube, because they're anonymous and they're not in person. Yeah, so that's kind of like a different atmosphere. And I think even like um yeah, when I had like backroom bozos, like I remember like I had a lot of comments. I would read like each one, and then some of them were like um kind of really insulting, um like there were, I think they're like why are you trying to copy and stuff, and this is like so shit or something. I don't know, I forgot, but I remember there were negative comments. And um I mean, it didn't really, I was kind of just confused. It didn't really like, because I was just kind of doing it as a joke in a sense as well at the same time. But like, yeah, it's just, if like, now if I imagine, yeah, imagine like if I created like a channel where I really do like things like creating like content which I really do care about, and then someone says, oh yeah, your like opinion, your um like view on life is like so bad, and that just opposing me directly, like contradicting everything I say. And I know he's obviously wrong, like because he if he doesn't, like he probably is just kind of like brainwashed by modern day, like if he does oppose like the self-improvement atmosphere type things. But still, it's just um like imagine, yeah, creating something you really do deeply put in hours and work into and care about so much, and then receiving negative comments. It will affect you somehow, even though even if you have some, if you even if you think you try and think like, yeah, I don't care about what others think, but at the same time, like you kind of have to, because um you depend, your success in business and everything in life depends on what others think, because it kind of sounds a bit, it kind of contradicts like the saying of stop thinking or stop caring about what others think, but in a way, like you do, because your your success of your business depends on what other people think of your business, because that's how you sell products and or like get views. If other people think your product and content is not worth their time or money, then they wouldn't like buy or watch, and therefore your business wouldn't thrive. Like yeah, it it all depends on other people. Your business, it sounds like entrepreneurship and business, like it all sounds like like a solo project, and but like you're actually depending on whether these thousands of millions of people are actually going to invest their time and money into your stuff. So yeah, that's like for the doubt part, because I think for me, I truly like you truly can't like fully not care about what others think, like because in some way, like if someone if someone comments something negative about you, then I don't know, like is that not like some sort of truth? Because every type of person who is like that person who gave you that negative comment, like you just have like kind of um this set of people who it's a truth to them, if you get what I mean. Like if they think negatively of you, then that's the truth to them. They yeah, like in some but like let me rethink this. But basically, yeah, it's just like negative comments, even from strangers. Like it's kind of like some sort of like truth that I guess what I'm saying is like it yeah, your my brain kind of just takes it in as partly true because this is how some other another human being views me, right? Well, yeah, just let me know your thoughts about this part. Although I do think like the saying of not caring about what others think remains true and really good because even though like these people can project their negative comments onto you, like if you don't care really, then um yeah, but essentially you don't if you don't care, it doesn't really affect you, and these people aren't actually in your life unless you make them so, right? Unless you actually make them part of your life through letting the words affect you. Right, the next topic is negative motivation versus positive motivation. I'd say if you are able to strive off just fully like negative motivation, I think you really are mentally strong and have great mental like if you can do that because um I feel like for me if I just heard negative things all the time, it will somewhat get into my head because in a way like I feel like I'm not doing things right. That's probably for like people who actually kind of know what they're doing, not like just people who go parties and get drunk all the time. Like if I receive negative motivation from a business partner or someone on the same like pursuit of um financial freedom as me, then in a way I'll think it'll get to me sometime, I think. Because yeah, it's just kind of like negative like positive reinforcement. It'll continually like reinforce these negative like comments like because also I think it's a matter of like me not me knowing that I don't know everything. So if I continually receive these negative motivation comments, like negative comments, it maybe at first, and only to like a few people, it'll motivate me. Like if I received a negative comment from um actually, when I rethink about how I respond to negativity, I do get like, if it was from a close friend, I do get hurt, but then I use it to like go to the gym and um just sometimes I would just receive like a random like kind of negative comment when I would be like gaming with friends, that like kind of just, it's just kind of like making fun kind of, but like that kind of triggers like me thinking, what am I doing with my life? And then from that I would start like just stop playing games and stuff, because playing games kind of becomes not a nice environment anymore. So I, when I rethink about it, I think it does help, and it did help throughout my life. But I can't like really think of if I kept receiving negative comments even when I was doing the right thing from like actually close people. Like if I was like, I guess it's probably for like things I'm not so sure about. Like for example, reading books and going gym and like not playing games. I would 100% keep doing those if I, even if I received all the negative comments in the world. But yeah, for some things I'm not so sure about. Let's say if I was creating a business, right? And if I just kept like receiving so many negative comments, then in a way it will get to my head and I'll think there's probably something wrong with what I'm doing. So I personally think I think negative like motivation can direct me in the right way, but like constant negative, like I don't think I'm able right now to just constantly use negativity as motivation. At some point it will like kind of ruin my mental. But at the same time, positive motivation, too much of that is pretty bad, because it kind of makes you feel like you have a sense of accomplishment already, perhaps, and you might like get complacent and not strive as hard because um yeah, you're just constantly like positivity. That's kind of like how the modern day is, right? Like too much positivity for everything, not enough negativity. So I think there's like a balance between that. Like kind of like how society's always like, yeah, you're the best, you're special and whatever, and um there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with being fat and stuff. Like that's all just too much positivity for like not the right things. And yeah, that causes the complacency of many. And that's why we see these like communities like LGBTQ who have used this and just enabled themselves to, yeah, like do this like weird shit, basically. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, I'll be looking forward to your response then. I think this is all I had to say for this video response. And yeah, um for the server accountability, I'll be doing that again. I'll just yeah, it'll just remind me that looking back, the period between when I stopped and started, like those were some bad mental health periods that yeah. And in the long run, when you reminded me that like yeah, in the long run, when there's months and months and months and years, like it's not gonna be significant at all. It's just like a small 2 week gap or something. Like it really didn't matter at all in the long run. And what really mattered, you reminded me was my long-term goals and what I really wanted to do with my life. Yeah, so thanks for that. And yeah, I'll continue the accountability stuff. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for listening.